So there's a lot of exotic weapons inside of Destiny 2, and I thought it'd be fun to go over my 5 favorite ones right before Edge of Fate does come out and changes a lot of systems in the game on July 15th. So it's in about a month of when this video goes up. I figured it'd be fun to go over my favorite exotics over the last couple years, the ones that I still use the most and have the most time with, and just the ones that I subjectively enjoy more than any other weapon. It's not a list based on which ones are meta or which ones have more DPS potential. It's just the ones that I use particularly the most in certain situations. Starting off at number 5, my personal favorite exotic bow, the Le Monarque. Not just because of its cool design and ease of use, because the bows are extremely easy to use and they have a very, very high range value, making it easy to sit back and take out targets. The Le Monarque is my favorite because I'm typically a Void guy, which means I'm using Nezarec Sin, which means I need my Void energy to replenish my abilities. And using the Catalyst, this thing does a ton of damage over time with the poison effect, and being able to stun champions makes it even more fun to use for legendary lost sectors. And I'm not gonna lie, I am that guy that sometimes takes a fully kitted Le Monarque into PvP. So even if I don't hit the critical and I still hit you with my arrow, you're probably going to die after you killed me, so at the worst case scenario, we're just trading the entire game. But Le Monarque is my favorite bow. I use it in any activity and have a great time with it, and it's just super satisfying to use. The sound design and the feel of the bows, whoever was in charge of that back when Forsaken came out, and whoever worked on this weapon when Black Armory was in the game, I commend you, sir or ma'am. It is a fantastic weapon. You did a great job creating it. At number 4, mentioning Forsaken, Ace of Spades. It's my favorite hand cannon in the game. I have a ton of nostalgia for it, going after it and doing the quest for Cayde 6, learning about his backstory, learning that the weapon was named after his son, which I didn't know at the time when Forsaken came out. I wasn't super into the Destiny lore, and Forsaken's one of those expansions that kind of got me to open it up a little bit more and learn more about the universe. I think Memento Mori is one of the most satisfying exotic traits to pull off, and when you keep stacking it and stacking it, on top of Firefly, which is already on the weapon as a perk, you can just make everything on the screen explode, and it's super fun, and one of those hand cannons that I can use in most activities and not have to worry about DPS. If you want raw DPS, go after Hawkmoon. If you want more utility, go after Thorn. But for nostalgia's sake and to honor the memory of Cayde 6, Ace of Spades is my favorite hand cannon. At number 3 is my personal favorite auto rifle in the entire game, just because of the utility value of constant melee energy. When I say constant, I mean constant. The Monte Carlo and its Markov chain exotic trait is extremely useful, especially with the build I'm using on my Warlock, where it's a stasis void combo with my prismatic class, using a void grenade and a stasis melee ability. Being able to shoot ice balls absolutely constantly and then use volatile rounds or the void grenades to shatter them and create even more ability regen is absolutely awesome and one of the most satisfying gameplay loops you can create. Of course, it's also great in other builds. Anything that requires constant melee energy to be maintained, use the Monte Carlo. Super easy to use, low recoil, high damage. Given that it's an exotic, you don't have to worry about not having that 30% damage buff. And it's readily available for all players. It's extremely fun to use, and now that we have the Catalyst, you can finally use that beautiful ceremonial blade to actually impale things with it, making it a perfect melee build weapon. Number 2, I have my personal favorite high burst DPS weapon, and that's the Izanagi's Burden. Now, before they made Pocket Golden Gun Sniper Rifle a thing, this was Pocket Golden Gun Sniper Rifle. The honed edge is such a satisfying mechanic, and the sound design when you activate it just cannot be matched. Of course, it's high risk, high reward. Missing that shot feels like a kick to the balls because you have the potential of doing close to 1,000,000 damage if you do your debuffs correctly, and it's insane you can do that kind of burst damage to enemies that don't need it. It's super satisfying to load up 4 charges of Honed Edge and delete a Fallen Drag in the EDZ with 645,000 damage when he really didn't need all that. The overkill itself is just hilarious. But it's one of those weapons that I routinely take into legendary lost sectors or later strike activities like Nightfalls or Master Nightfalls because the sheer damage output is just so useful. But like I said, high risk, high reward. You miss that shot because you're getting hit. There's flinch. There's all sorts of reasons you can end up missing, or you just don't hit the crit spot and you hit the body. It still does a good bit of damage, but nothing like that crit. So if you can maintain your aim and hit your shots on target, Izanagi's Burden is super satisfying. And at number 1 for me, it's my favorite pulse rifle in the game, and my favorite PvE and PvP weapon. I can take it into Strikes, Legendary Lost Sectors, I can take it into Dares of Eternity, I can take it into Crucible, I can take it into Dungeons. I love this weapon, and now that you can craft one, it's even better. Outbreak Perfected. Now, I played Destiny 1, I remember Outbreak Prime. I don't remember it being this good, though. Maybe that's just, it's been a while since I played D1 and played through Wrath of the Machine, but Outbreak Perfected at this point, and now that it's becoming an anti-barrier weapon with the Edge of Fate update, it's just going to stay in my inventory all the time. It is such a good weapon. It's so satisfying. When you proc the nanites, they can eviscerate entire groups of enemies. Even if you focus your energy on a single target, it still slaps. And taking into PvP, you're going to turn the entire lobby into Outbreak Perfected players if you do that, kind of like how on the old Call of Duties, if you pull out shotguns, everyone switches to shotguns, or if you pull out snipers, everyone does it. Same with Outbreak Perfected. You go into a PvP match and start slapping people with Outbreak Perfected, do not be surprised when Graviton Lance or Red Death also come out. Those pulse rifles are also very good, but for me, this one's the best. Outbreak Perfected is just such a cool weapon in its design, its lore, its abilities. It's just super awesome to use, and I can't find a weapon better. But that's it. That's my list of my top 5 favorite exotics in the game. Of course, there are others that I like. I just narrowed it down to the 5 that I use the most. But let me know what you guys think. What are your top 5 exotics? What are you looking forward to most for the Edge of Fate update? And which exotics do you think could use a rework in the future? I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.